Hi, welcome to A Moment in Time with Taylor. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to go live through Periscope Producer using OBS. So this is only for going live on Periscope, which is basically Twitter's live streaming app. And if you don't know how to do it or you want to know how to do it, this is the tutorial for you. There's not really any good tutorials out there besides my old one when I had my old website, my old username. So I decided to make a new one here because I get a lot of people asking how to do it. They want to go live from their computers or a separate device from their phones, and they want to know how to do that. This makes it easy to share your screen and do a lot of really cool things. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. There's two main things that you're going to need. One, the Periscope app, which I assume you already have if you're watching this video, and two, the OBS software. OBS stands for Open Broadcasting System. Open Broadcasting Software, one of those. And it's a free software that you can use to live stream to multiple different platforms, but today I'm just going to focus on Periscope. So first, download OBS. You can just look up download OBS online and you can download the software very easily. I'm going to share my screen with you and you're going to see what the icon looks like to make sure you're looking at the right software. It'll look like this down here. This little black icon. You know, I might just make this my whole screen. Yeah, I'll share my whole screen with you. So it's this black circle icon here. It looks like it's got a little, almost looks like a fidget spinner going through it there. So you'll open it up and yours will be entirely black. This is what mine looks like when I have it set up. My video is normally here, but because I'm broadcasting to you guys, you can't actually see the video here, but normally it's my video. And then my supporters are here, my website is here, and I use a tip jar and a alert box here through Streamlabs, which again is a separate topic I'm not going to get into today, but I will show you how you can set up things like this as well as others. So the most important thing you're going to need to do here is click your settings. And the way that you're going to know how to set up all of these settings is actually through the Periscope app. So when you're on Periscope, you're going to click the bottom right button there. It's like two people next to each other. Click that. And then from this screen, which is where you can go and edit your profile picture and everything, scroll down to settings, click that, and you'll see Periscope Producer. When you click in there, you'll see right here, this is your stream key and your URL for live streaming through OBS or any other streaming software such as Restream. Low latency mode is definitely best. I don't know why that wasn't set on for me, but you should have that turned on. I think I just put a new stream key in. It's not important. Okay. And then right here, you'll see suggested settings. And just as I mentioned for low latency, as it says, it's best for broadcasters interacting with viewers. Normal latency is best for high quality playback. So this keeps the comments from being lagged. If you have a really high quality, high definition video you're trying to put out, then maybe not low latency, but Periscope only allows you to put out a certain resolution anyway, which you'll find out right here in the suggested settings. So yours are probably going to be different than mine. I have a special approval to broadcast at a higher output than a regular broadcaster does, as far as I know. So Actually, this one has the old ones on it. This is perfect. Yours will probably look like this. So your video codec, your max suggested bitrate, you can go lower than this, but you can't go higher than it. Your max suggested frame rate, your keyframe interval, suggested width, suggested height, your audio settings, audio codec, sampling rate, bitrate, and number of channels. So this is your Bible as to how to set up your OBS. So let's go back to that. So general, I pretty much leave everything as it is, except for I do automatically record when streaming and I automatically check for updates on startup. If you click the stream button, this is where you put in your service. You're going to want custom for Periscope and your URL will be that Periscope link that I showed you. When you open up your settings and go to Periscope Producer, you'll see that. I use Restream, so mine's a little different. And then you put your stream key in right there. Don't share your stream key out or other people will be able to broadcast to your channel. Your output. So very commonly, people have this set to simple, and that's probably why it seems like why they come into a lot of their problems. So make sure this is set to advanced. Once you change this to advanced, put in the settings that are suggested by your Periscope producer. Your bitrate, like I said, the max should be 800. Yours are going to be different than what I have. This, I think, will be 2. So everything will be a little different than what you're seeing on my screen. Don't copy my screen, but I'm just showing you where everything is. So here's your bitrate. This is for streaming. You can change your recording settings as well if you're doing recording, but I'm just trying to show you how to go live. So I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible. Click audio, and you set your audio bit rate here, which I believe they said 96 for a standard broadcast. Then your audio is here. Set your sample rate. You can set however you have your audio devices, however you want to set up those, depending on what microphone you're using, what desktop audio you use, and so forth. It's very simple. And then finally, your video. You have your base resolution and your output resolution. Common frames per second values, 30. 30 is what yours is going to be as well. So your resolution might be different than mine. Mine's 720. I think yours will be 540. I think it'll be 960 by 540 instead of 1280 by 720. All right. So once you have all your settings done, now you're ready to start laying out your screen. So you can lay out your screen however you want. Right now I'm broadcasting through a different software, so my screen is a little bit differently laid out. You don't have to have yours that look like mine. You can set yours up however you want. Maybe you have financial supporters, maybe you don't. Maybe you want to have a message on your screen. Maybe you want to have a tip jar if you're accepting super hearts. Maybe you don't. Whatever you want on there, you can put it. You can put videos, you can put pictures, you can share your screen like what you keep seeing me do, except through OBS it's a little bit different. So there's a lot of really cool stuff. So let me show you the basics here. This is your favorite part. This is where you're making most of your editing under sources. Sorry, my mouse gets really glitchy when I share my screen. I don't know why. You can add a source or you can remove a source. You can also look at the properties of each source, and you can move your sources up or down. A source is basically something that you're putting into your screen because, like I said, when you first start out, this will be entirely black. There won't be anything on here. So you're adding in what you want to add in. First and foremost, probably the most important part for most people who are live streaming is you want to add a video capture device, which is a webcam. It's just or just a camera, whatever camera you're using and linking in to use. So what I find is that most webcams on most laptops are not very good. So I do have an outside one, which I use called the Brio, Logitech Brio. And you can even see I have other ones as well that I use sometimes. Video capture device. This is just my basic webcam. So when you click it, you'll create a new one, you'll name it, and then you'll choose the one that you want. You can configure your video, changing the brightness, the contrast, the saturation. You can go to camera control and work on the focus or the exposure, and so on and so forth. You can change your resolution. You can change everything down here. Okay, then when you have your camera looking how you want it, you can have it fill up the entire screen. I have mine filling up, what is this, 3/4 of the screen to the right. You can have yours fill up the entire screen, or you can have yourself just in a little box. So whenever you click a source like this, you can see the red box around the source. You can make sure you're clicked on the source you want by making sure it's highlighted here below. So for my webcam, if I click it, it's actually a little bit to the right because I move it so that what I want in the frame is showing. So you can see my red line actually goes outside of the box a little bit. And you can resize this by just simply clicking the side, making it smaller or bigger. So if you want it to be this tiny little thing, you can. Probably gonna have to fix this after this video, but yeah, you just make it however big you want. You can also right click on a source and hit transform. You hover over the word transform and click fit to screen, where it will automatically, well, I'll just do that. It will automatically put it to fit the size of the screen. I think mine was like roughly there. You can also click, if you do that, you can also click stretch to screen, which will force whatever you're looking at to fill the screen. So maybe you have like a portrait photo. If you click stretch to screen, it's going to stretch that picture out and really distort it. So be aware of that. Fit to screen is better. You can center to the screen, you can center vertically, center horizontally. There's tons of different ways you can make this look. And you can also click edit transform. And this is a way that you can basically crop or change the alignment of what you're looking at and change the position. So I mainly only crop things. So one thing that I crop a lot is my supporters list, this list of people who support my channel. So when I go into edit transform, so I right click it. Okay, this is on PC, so if you have a Mac, it might be a little different, but you'll probably still be able to get the gist of it. I've never had a problem with someone who has a Mac. I've never had a problem getting them set up either. Click edit transform, and then you can see I really just edit off the bottom. I edited off 1815 pixels, and this changes depending on how many people I have here because I want this to fit right in this box. Now, if I took this down to 0, it would just run all the way down, way down, and mess up the way that it looks. So you can use the arrows to increase how much is trimmed or decrease. You can also use the up and down arrow keys on your keyboard. Why is it going so slowly? Is that how slow it normally goes? Oh, it feels so slow. All right, so we had it at 1815. That sounds good to me. So that's how you can crop things, left, right, top, bottom, wherever, however you want to crop them. So let's click add source and look at some of our other options. Actually, you know what? While we're talking about supporters, why don't I just tell you what kind of box that is? That's a text box. So if you want to add text to your stream, that's what you're going to use. So my NexJuice.com is also a text box. And you can tell because there's a T next to it in the sources. When you click the add source button, you'll see this text option. You can name it whatever you want and type in whatever you want. It's automatically going to come up as white, I believe. You change the color here by clicking select color, whatever color you want. Type in whatever you want. You change your font. I mean, this is all pretty self-explanatory, I feel like. Whatever size you want, really, you can change everything here. You can have a background color. You can decide whether you want that to be opaque or not. Alignment, left, right, top, bottom. You can outline it and so forth. You can set it back to default, whatever works. Hit OK, and then you can put it wherever you want. Oh, it didn't actually put any words in there, did it, when I click default? Okay, why don't I just put like example? Okay, so you can really see it. And then once I have it, I can move it wherever I want. So same thing with everything else. You can resize it and you can move it somewhere else on the screen, wherever you want, just by clicking in the middle. Okay, you can move things. Now, what's interesting about this, when you click this line here, or this square, the top and bottom, or even the left and right, it's just as if you're clicking one of the corner pieces. It doesn't actually allow you to edit it horizontally or vertically, without a little trick that I like, which is to right click it, go to transform, and click stretch to screen. So this isn't going to really work great for your words most of the time, but once you've stretched something to the screen, you can edit it and resize it horizontally or vertically, however you want. And that's what I do for my color source. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this source. I clicked the delete button on my keyboard. You can also right click and click remove, or you can remove it by simply clicking this minus button below. Remove. It'll always ask, are you sure you want to remove it? Be very sure, because if you do, if you want to get it back later, you'll have to completely add it back in from scratch. If you just want to hide it from your screen for that broadcast or just for a certain period of time, you can click this little eyeball next to it. So if I decided, you know what, I don't really want this orange thing on the side of my screen, I can just click the eyeball and it'll become invisible. So you can't see it, but it's still there. So I don't have to add it back in manually each time. Or I can click it back to open it. So hide or show is what these little eyeballs mean on the side. Go back to adding a source. So we have audio input capture. That's going to be your microphone. You don't have to add that in manually. It actually will just automatically put a microphone in for you. You can see down here how it's looking. It looks like if I was broadcasting through OBS, it's a little loud. So you can tell because the green is where you want to be. Because it's going into the yellow, if I go a little too loud, if I was like, hi, hey guys, see how it goes into the red? So if I lower that a little bit so that my normal speaking voice stays in the green, that's going to be a better sound for everyone. So that's how you can edit that. You can also mute it like that, or you can mute it on your microphone if you have that option. And your settings are right here. Click Properties, and that's how you can switch which microphone you want to use. Okay. Click Add. Audio output capture, I don't never use that. I'm not going to get into that now. A browser source is something that I do use sometimes, especially for Streamlabs. So if you click browser source, name it whatever you want, and then you just put in the link that you want to use. It'll always default to this OBS thing that says, hey, you just added a browser source. Browser sources let you display a web page from the internet or a local file and are commonly used for widgets and alerts. Set the URL to the page you'd like to display. And then you can change the size of it here. I usually change the size of it using the little red boxes. If you want to do it manually here, that's fine. If you have custom CSS, okay, I don't really use that. I'm going to delete that one and I'm going to show you my alerts. I just wanted to be able to show you guys how you add everything to and what it looks like when you go to add it. So I'll remove that and I'll show you my tip jar. So if you go to the tip jar, you can actually see the URL for the widget, and that's given to me straight through Streamlabs. I'm not going to show you how to use Streamlabs today, but if you go to streamlabs.com, you can pretty much learn everything you need to know, or you can watch tutorials of that on the internet. Also, this is just showing you how to add a browser source on OBS. So if I click Add, I can also add in a color source, which is what I have here for this orange box. So with the orange box, because it's a vertical, kind of like a portrait looking item, it comes out as just a box. So here, as a rectangular box. So if I just add in a color source, it'll be white. Oh, why is it so big? I did something weird with my OBS the other day, and everything's been huge. But let's say if I fit to the screen, normally it's actually like a small box. But something's up with my thing. So normally I would just give you like this little box. And as you can see, I can't really edit it to be the size that I want. I can't really, it's just as if I'm using I don't really know what it's doing. Yeah, I can't, it's really kind of strange. But if I want to make it more manipulatable, I right click it, I go to transform, and I click stretch to screen. Now I can, here, I'll show you, I'm going the other way. Now I can shrink it down however I want it. So maybe if I want something scrolling on the side like I have mine, or if you want something scrolling through the top, you'll go like this and bring this up to the size banner that you want. You can also do it on the bottom, whatever you like. It's all very customizable, which is why I like OBS so much. All right, so we'll remove that. Hit Add. Display capture. This will share your screen just like what I'm doing with you here. The display capture will just look like this. It's going to look really trippy if you're sharing out the actual OBS screen because it's showing itself, which is part of the reason I am showing you this through StreamYard, because it's a lot less trippy looking and confusing. So display capture is just a screen share. If you click Add, game capture, I've never used. I'm not exactly sure, although I do some game streaming and I'm thinking about starting on my PC, so stay tuned for something about that. But image is just a picture. So you can grab a picture right from your computer. An image slideshow allows you to put in multiple images and then scroll through them and show them in order of each other. So you don't have to have, 15 different image sources like this. You can have a quote unquote slideshow where you have all the different images in one source. You can add a media source. This would be something like a video. I've never used the scene button. Text I've already shown. Video capture device I've already shown. And window capture is if you have an open window and you just want to show that window, you could do that. So let me open up like calculator here. Oh, you can actually see everything I'm doing. So yes, I open up the calculator and then I hit add window capture. Okay, it's going to give me a choice between all my different open windows. I'm going to click calculator, click OK, and then I'm going to put it wherever I want on my screen. I can resize it, I can change it, I can do whatever I want with it. So if you want to open up a window of a program or something you have on your computer, you can open it up like that by adding in a window capture. Make sense? When you're ready to go live, you just click Start Streaming. Once you're streaming, you'll see some information down here at the bottom. I personally don't want to click Start Streaming because it will automatically start streaming to my YouTube channel. But when I click that, you will see frames. It'll say frames dropped with a number and a percentage. Keep an eye on that. If that number is any number besides, here, let me, this is so important. I want to show my face. I removed myself from the stream. Hopefully you guys can still hear me, right? Okay. This is so important. I want to show my face saying this. If it says any number besides 0, then you have a problem. Something's not set up right. Something in the settings is wrong, or your Wi-Fi, or something's not right because you're dropping frames, which means it's going to be skipping and glitching and look really bad to your audience. So especially the higher that number is. So sometimes that might happen intermittently, like you drop a few frames for a few seconds and you don't really know why. Maybe the internet dropped out for a second or something. It's best if you're hardwired into the internet to prevent internet connection issues. Wi-Fi can be tricky, as I'm sure many of you know. So keep an eye on the frames number first. Before you even actually click go live on Periscope, make sure that you're not dropping any frames. That's the best way to prevent having really kind of crappy, glitchy broadcasts. So once you have set everything up, you've hit start streaming on OBS, then in here, where it right now says checking for source, it will actually say preview broadcast. You click that, and then it's going to look pretty much just like this screen does, where except instead of seeing my face, you're going to see your OBS broadcast right here. You're going to type in whatever title you want, and you're going to click go live just like you would from a normal Periscope broadcast. If you don't know how to go live, I have a separate video that teaches you how to use Periscope, how to view and watch broadcasts, how to go live on Periscope, and even how to go live on Twitter, all in one video. So you can check that out if you have any questions about actually going live and clicking that button. But otherwise, that's how you go live from your computer or another device that you have OBS on. You just download OBS, you set your settings up following your Periscope Producer guidelines, suggested settings, and then go ahead and add in and edit any sources that you want. Click Start Streaming, go into your Periscope Producer settings through your app, and click Preview Broadcast, put in your title, click Go Live, and there you go. Pro tip, make sure your volume's all the way off on your phone so that you do not end up having to hear an echo. You won't, if you have headphones in, it might be, oh no, it still won't be okay. You'll still hear an echo because you'll hear yourself on an echo coming out of your broadcast, and it'll be feeding into your microphone, which will cause an echo. So make sure that your volume's all the way off, and then you're going to need to have your phone somewhere that you want it in order to see comments. So I actually put my phone right about here. I put it on a little tripod so that I can look at my camera and I can look at comments. So it's pretty close. It's not perfect, but it's as close as I can get it for right now. So remember that you won't see any comments on OBS. You'll have to be watching Periscope on your phone. And if it's down here and you're looking down here all the time to read comments, you probably are going to lose some engagement with your audience. So a couple pro tips there at the end for you. I hope you enjoy going live as much as I do, and I hope you figure this out. If you have any questions at all, just comment below or message me on any of the social media platforms. It's NexJuice everywhere: Instagram, Twitter. My email even is nexjuice@gmail.com. It's NEXJuice, JUICE. And I hope this helps. I look forward to seeing your live streams and hearing how this video helps you. This has been A Moment in Time with Taylor. Hope to see you on the next juice.